Despite of being dependent on a wheelchair and a computerized voice system for communication, he is known for his groundbreaking work on the origin and the structure of the universe. His concepts and theories on Big Bang, black holes, and relativity revolutionized the field, while his best-selling books trigger the masses to be curious about the universe we live in. His name, Stephen Hawking. A paralyzed man who accomplished this much is an inspiration to many. Hey, what's up guys? Today on Just Started, we will go through 5 life-changing lessons to learn from Stephen Hawking. So first things first, Professor William Hawking was born on 8th January 1942, exactly 300 years after the death of Galileo, in Oxford, England. He attended University College, Oxford, and studied physics, and decided to go to Cambridge for his PhD. But life had some other plans for him. He was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, which basically means he will lose all of his body control and won't be able to move by himself. He was not expected to live more than 2 years, and at that point of time, he was just 21 by the way. To quote him, "At first I became depressed. There didn't seem any point working on my PhD. I didn't know if I would live long enough to finish it." So the first life lesson is about life and destiny. When you are diagnosed with such terrible disease, you're only left with 2 options. The first option is very convenient and easy, is to die a little bit daily till you actually die. And the second option is to live till you actually die. And guess what? He took the second option. He went on to PhD. I've noticed even people who claim that everything is predetermined and that we can do nothing to change it, look before they cross the roads. Life is so much powerful that it can take away everything from you all at once, no arguments. But it can be so much generous too that it granted him more than 50 years to do his research. He lived up to 76, which is way more than the average human life on earth. He was so much curious and excited about the universe. If he was to live only 2 years from that point, he would be extremely happy doing that. Which leads us to next lesson. Meaning and purpose. Never give up work. Work gives you meaning and purpose, and life is empty without it. I guess he had everything at 21 to cry, whine, and complain for. It could have been very easy for him to lose hope, but it was his work that gave him meaning to live for. Think for a moment, if he was to live with that rare disease till 76 doing nothing, his life would have been a nightmare rather than a grand design. Struggle and persistence. However difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and succeed at. It matters that you don't just give up. Guys, let's be realistic. If he would have compared himself with a marathon runner, his life would have been a misery. So it's extremely important to choose your battles wisely and then stick to it. So remember to look up at the stars and not down at your feet. Death and disabilities. When you are faced with the possibility of an early exit, it makes you realize that life is worth living and there are lots of things that you want to do. I've lived with the prospect of an early death for the last 49 years. I'm not afraid of death, but I'm in no hurry to die. I have so much I want to do first. He could live hyper-productive life because the thoughts of certain death made him highly focused and concerned about his work. He couldn't be lazy anymore, but if he would be overwhelmed by that thought, he wouldn't be able to focus on his work. And great things take time to accomplish, sometimes decades. And the last lesson is about expectations and gratitude. My expectations were reduced to 0 when I was 21. Everything since then has been a bonus. Oftentimes we expect so much, much more than our ability to attain, which later leads us to resentment. But if you could look at life from Hawking's point of view, world can be upside down. He started with something easy for him, and then he extended his limits, and over the course of 5 decades, he became what we know him today.